So I think the most important thing about this poem is that in its earlier drafts, it was much more maybe violent is a good word. I was very angry writing it, and you can tell. And it took me a lot of redrafting and a lot of rethinking to put it into the form it is now, which I think is a bit more true to what it is intended to be. So I like this poem because for me, it's an example of how poetry always moves me if I let it, not perhaps to a whole state of grace, but to the intention of grace, and lets me learn things about myself or what I think about the world that I might not have known before. Humming. In that dark, outlined light of the transept, I became a nervous acolyte, breaking bread and snuffing out the altar candle, considering the stockpile of God in my mouth. When asked, I'd panic and say it tasted like swollen pears, freshwater mussels. Heresy, it seemed, began with the eyes, but always ended with the tongue. I learned, carrying the light away from the sacristy, not to stumble on the wrong war front of a name. Faith became tangible when uttered, became familiar through unknown sins and unsinned knowns, hurriedly pitched under the bed my whole childhood. I whispered the name to myself, feeling out its hollowness, then its disappointed promise of vibration. In this dark, curdled in narthex bedroom, revulsion chipped into a cell, ear pressed to wet rock, men share holy water, and to hear the throat's humming, it must be hushed. There is an acidic loveliness to the phrase, as a dog returns to its own vomit, which recalls the muscle, tongue its only leg, and hobbling through trenches of Lake Michigan. 12th hour men filling its throat, blocking epiphany's entrance, phonetics, rapture, but I have never once thought myself hated by God. Could I bear to love other men? Who would I be were I not relapsed again and again under the Turin cloth of mourning, blushing many colors from its held breath? Which heresy configures my tongue as temples across the world turn to night? Candle put out, shadowed shape of Yahweh, readying for the next gasp.